Our boy Cole got a hat trick tonight. He hasn't had a hat trick since 2022. It was an incredibly important game tonight. Montreal is on a little bit of a slide. They're losing to division rivals like crazy. They're losing to Buffalo. They're losing to Detroit. But with Cole Caufield putting up that hat trick tonight against the Bruins, there's no way that the Habs lost to the Bruins, right? Right? Let's talk about it. Yeah, there's no two ways about it. They can't be losing games to division rivals right now. You like to call those 4-point games because it holds your rivals down and it props your team up. So tonight was a big test. Boston Bruins, last time they played Boston at home, they beat their butts. Another win now should be no problem because they have people coming back. Goulie's back in the lineup. Alex Texier is in the lineup after his little hiatus. Kirby Dach is back. We still need to see something big from Kirby Dach, but it's only been a few games, although at this point, yeah, tonight is a little bit of a test for Kirby, isn't it? And Montreal is boasting really impressive offensive stats right now. So you're hoping that they can pull all that together, plus have Montembeault continue to perform well since his little reset. And then, yeah, that sounds like a good formula to beat the Boston Bruins at home again. But how does this all unfold? Before we get to the recap, how about subscribing to this channel? We are well on our way to 22,000 subscribers. That video the other day, I think we had nearly 200 subscribers from that video alone. Which one was it? I'm so tired, guys. Right, it was the Minnesota game. Yeah, I've been exhausted, and Friday was, it wasn't a good day. We'll just say that. So yeah, I'd appreciate it if you considered subscribing. If you're already a subscriber, don't worry about it. Hit the like button, helps us out with search results probably. Let's get into this game. Let's get into La Formation de Départ. Starting lineup. Nos attaquants, our forwards, Caufield, Suzuki, Texier, Slavkovsky, Kapanen, Demidov, Bolduc, Evans, Dach, Anderson, Danault, Gallagher. Yeah, so Texier is back up on that first line. Dach, a little bit of a demotion there, back to line 3. But I think that's a good, honest line for Dach to help out. If he's able to make things work down on that line, it says a lot about how he can contribute to this team. It only takes a couple of really big moments, and then you get your head blown up, and things start rolling from there. Hopefully Dach can find that, find his confidence, and start affecting the game. No défenseur, our defensemen, we got Matheson, Dobson, Hudson, Goulet, Xhekaj, and Carrier. No gardien. Montembeault starts in net. Dobesh backing him up. All right, so they dropped the puck on this one. It's Monty versus Swayman. Both teams early on definitely look like they're ready for a battle tonight. Good momentum by both teams. But Montreal would get on the board first.
With some assists on the game sheet for him as they'll carry it in. Flipped up, scores!
Cole Caufield, what an incredible goal. Amazing play at the Bruins blue line here by Matheson. Well, Matheson and Caufield, they totally understood this play. I wouldn't be surprised if this is something that they knew to do, because Boston is setting up at their blue line. 4 players, all like little soldiers. Matheson and Caufield break in at the same time. Caufield takes the lead. Boston is completely flat-footed here. So they have this bad formation. Caufield accepts the pass. Yeah, puts it in. Great goal. But now, after the goal, Bolduc's going to head to the box, taking a little bit of the momentum away. And the reason why I put this clip in is because it leads to the narrative that I feel has been happening for a while for the Montreal Canadiens. And we'll get to that before the end of the video. But he's going to the box here on an apparent trip. Very soft call. I don't even know if this gets in the skates. I feel like this hit his knee and he goes down easy. They do end up killing that power play and we move on, but Dach drops the gloves. Not much of a fight here, but it is nice to see the passion. However, he cuts his thumb in this fight. Sadly, he'll be gone for 4 to 6 months. That's just a joke, but he does leave. And that's the end of the first period. Montreal looked good this period, only allowing Boston 2 shots on goal. Now, if they keep up the pace for the remainder of the game, that type of urgency, it's going to be an easy one for them. Second period starts. Doc, still not back. Oh no. I was joking about him being injured, but what are they doing? Sewing his finger back on? He would appear like a short while after. Yeah, he probably got a couple of stitches in his finger, and that doesn't feel good. Is some numbing spray and some gauze, and you know, you're good to go. And now Dobson gets a penalty here while battling for the puck. They're trying to find anything they can to give the Habs a penalty here. What happens to Dobson? This happens 100 times in the game, and it happens several times after this and never gets called. They're basically within striking distance of the puck. This is puck battling. This isn't interference. But Boston heads to the power play, and yeah, of course, they're going to score.
Want him to have a real good outing here. Mason Loride to Casey Middlestad. Down for Minton in front. Scores! Victor!
Arvidsson makes it 1-1. They do capitalize on that fraudulent PP. Montreal here gets out of place. They are pulled too far in one direction, and Deneau can't get back to support Matheson. But it's like a game of tug of war because Boston takes a penalty as well. Zacha is gone to the box. Montreal heads to the power play. And this is where Cole Caufield is going to get his second goal of the night.
Suzuki to Caufield. Up for Suzuki. Looks to Caufield. Scores! Cole Caufield.
Really dangerous power play here by the Habs. They did a great job at tightening in on the Boston Bruins. So they close in, they make this a very tight formation. The passes are even more dangerous now. And when Suzuki sees Swayman peeking, he sends a pass to Caufield, and Caufield doesn't miss here. 2-1 for Montreal. Gooley so slow on retrieving and dishing the puck here. He gets in trouble behind his own net, gets his stick up, bad penalty. This is going to be a high sticking call. He's going to the box. Really wasn't impressed by Gooley tonight, and he still managed to get a decent amount of time on the ice. He gave me anxiety seeing him out there. He's got to tighten up his game and do it quick. But Boston heads to the power play once again, and yeah, guess what?
He'll bring it back in. Cuts to the middle. Rolling cut, Geekie right up and that scores!
They make it 2-2. Matheson almost scores here at the other end. However, he is now committed to the other end because Boston sends a stretch pass the other way at Montreal's blue line. Pasta picks it up, doesn't just take out Dobson, he also takes out Evans, who bites on what Pasta is doing. And this just makes it so easy for Geekie to, he had 4 to 6 business days to put this in. I appreciate that Matheson has a lot of dangerous offensive tools, but when you're on the penalty kill, and he's out there, you really want him in the zone when the play is happening in the zone. Not his fault here, though. Definitely not his fault. Now, Pastrnak is going to get called for interference. This is interference. This is really interference. When your opponent is like 20 feet away from the puck and you are edging them out, not allowing them their own ice, yeah, that's interference. So Montreal heads back to the power play. Check this out.
Back for Suzuki. Pressure by this Canadiens power play. Caufield with it. Caufield scores!
Cole Caufield hat trick, 3-2. Caufield sees about 3 inches of space behind Swayman, and he finds it barred down. He has no space here. Cole Caufield has got his shot back. Keep this kid shooting. Still in the second period. Oh no, Zadorov is hurt. You don't like seeing guys like this down on the ice because you know it's for real. Duke, who has been quite the menace to this game. I liked his game. He's the one that caught Zadorov against the boards. Clean hit here, but Zadorov's leg gets caught. He toe picks. And this is exactly why I'm so scared of doing anything except for playing hockey for fun, because I've hurt my leg twice, and I definitely don't recommend it. I feel bad for Zadorov here, but good news is he actually does come back. So that's the end of the second period. 3-2 after 2, 15-12 for shots in favor of Montreal here. Montreal, again, still looks like the better team, but they're their own worst enemies, right? Like, it would be nice if they just played like saints after they scored, because the referees are looking to manage the game. I'll get more into this, but they're looking to keep the game tight, right? It would also be nice if somebody else contributed to the score sheet besides Caufield. Third period starts. Montreal, once again, looking pretty sound defensively. Boston, looking muted. Montreal starting to go ahead in shots quite significantly. But I can't help but feel like there are shades of the Capitals game that just happened recently, where they're playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And sure enough,
back up ice come the Bruins. Back in and it scores!
Boston ties it up. Fraser Minton 3-3. Yikes, soft one here. Carrier not ready to play this play, not ready to give it the amount of effort that he needed to. Gross goal here. Catches Monty. I don't know. The backhand, it's tough to read, but Monty, you've got to be playing like your eyeballs are popping out of your head at this point. Really getting near the end of the game. And then Carrier, right afterwards, like they take the face off after the goal, Carrier immediately takes an interference call, a real interference call. Carrier, I don't care. You've officially lost all the good graces that you accumulated by scoring all those goals recently. They better not score on this power play.
After the puck, he got it to the line. McAvoy hands it off. Dealt by Geekie. Kicked out.
Power play goal, 4-3. Immediately, Geekie scores. Although, no one seems to think that they did score except for Matheson, who has his head down and is headed back to the bench. But this is so stupid. Nobody thought that this puck went in. They're like, oh my gosh, wait, we scored. This is just such a must save by Monty again. The shot comes in way above the house. This is just really bad on Monty, and another 4-goal game under his belt. His stats continue to get worse and worse. He came back from his reset. He put up those good games. His last game was kind of a stinker. And now this game is a stinker. What's going to happen with the goaltending? Dobesh is able to get those wins, but he also leaves in pretty bad goals, and they usually run up the score pretty bad on Montreal with Dobesh as well. Anyway, game continues. Montreal pulls Monty. They make a good run at it. They try to tie it up, but they're not able to do it. Boston wins 4-3 in an ugly game by the Montreal Canadiens. So many different ways that this could have gone, but I hate to say it, it really falls down to Montembeault and, a little bit towards more the defense. You needed bigger saves from Montembeault, who faced, 21 shots, leaving 4 goals in. That's a .810. And for the 25-26 season, he is at 3.46 goals against, .869 save percentage. I'm trying to think if that is the worst in the league for starting goaltenders. I think it probably is. I know that Stuart Skinner was down there at one point. I know that Jari was also down there, and Binnington. Binnington was also pretty low, right? Anyway, that's the game, and what I wanted to talk about is Montreal is their own worst enemy, which I've already said, but they have a problem with game management, and we could talk about, and we do talk about it as a community, how Montreal is often given bad penalties, and it seems like, a penalty that is called for Montreal early in the game is not called for their opponents, and so on and so forth. And there seems to be a disparity of goals that are called on Montreal on their opponents, which is true. The data is there. But the league has a secret mandate, and it is talked about in like hushed circles that, the referees are not just out there to officiate the game. They're also out there to make things interesting, to manage the game. And boy, do they like to manage Montreal games, more so than other teams, I would have to say. Again, looking at the data, looking at the disparity between penalties called and not called for Montreal. And what Montreal is really bad at is predicting that. They get a goal, and then after their goal, they're playing sloppy. They're getting their sticks in between people's legs. They're putting their arms around people. What they need to learn to do, and they can blame the refs all they want, and they have. Remember that the Oilers game? But they need to wake up and say, hey, this is how we have to play our games. This is how the league is going to treat us. So we need to be saints after we score a goal. We need to play a hard game, but a hard, clean game. Get our opponents frustrated. Make them make mistakes. And that's how you get 2 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals above your opponent and run away with it. They're the heart attack Habs for a reason. They're the cardiac Canadiens because they make things hard on themselves. That's just my opinion, though. I could be wrong. Let me know what you think about that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I got to head to bed. Thank you so much for your continued support. I really appreciate you guys a lot. It's been great chatting on Discord, although I haven't had a lot of time to touch base and check in every once in a while. I hope you're all good. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And you guys know what to do. Like the video. Helps me out with search results or something like that. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'd love to have you. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.